해 baby 난 지금부터 밀당하는 걸 배워 너가 내게 완전히 빠져들어서
One of the Nakeup Face, or one of the people that works up at Nakeup Face, saw my review on the Waterking cover cushion, and they enjoyed it so much that they contacted me and they were like, "Hey, let me like send you all our shit." So to review, so that's what they did, and I've had this like makeup sitting in this thing that they also gave me because I've been testing it for weeks so that I can get like a proper opinion on everything because this is going to be a whole brand review. So there's some things that I love, there's some things that I don't really care for, so we're going to go through everything. And yeah, this really started with this one person that was just like, "Can you please fucking review this one cushion?" You know, I got curious because I saw their advertising. I was like, why not? Next thing you know, here I am, a huge fan of Nakeup Face. So the whole concept of Nakeup Face in general, like the name, was really confusing to some people. So they're like, you misspelled makeup, but Nakeup is a combination of the words. I think it was like naked and makeup face, because the whole concept of the brand is like natural beauty, just like enhancing your natural features. So that's why there's actually only really like a cushion. There's not really any other base products. Like powder, concealer, and all the colors that you're gonna find in this range of makeup is very like natural. Like even like looking at these eyeshadows, they're all like warm browns, beiges, things like that. And even the lip colors, they don't get that crazy. So I think this is a brand for people that are starting out with makeup and aren't too sure about where to start, because I feel like all the makeup here kind of works together no matter what you use. And, you know, for those people that aren't too crazy about like getting all creative with their makeup, they just want to look really good. So before I actually get started, this is going to be sort of like a get ready with me style. So I'm going to apply like each category of makeup and I'm going to give you my little review on each one. But before I get started with that, I'm going to talk about their skincare. Now, it's not often where I have a product, because usually I'm like, I review a product and I'm like, just if you are interested, then buy it or look at more reviews. But this one, ooh, there aren't that many things that when I'm using them, like, oh my god, there's a huge difference. This, I've never been so confident with my skin in a long time. But the Nakeup Face Glycolic Acid the AHA Scaling Cream. This is a 10% glycolic acid cream, and basically this is one of those like retinol creams. I think I mentioned it in my last video where I said my skin is peeling. If you've ever been on Accutane, it's like a pill you take and it's basically like pure vitamin A, and like it stops your skin from producing your oil glands from producing oil, so that helps your acne and whatever. But one of the side effects is that your skin gets super, super dry. I mean, in general, retinol creams help resurface your skin, and like basically your skin peels and like renews itself and regenerates. And this cream is no joke. It kind of stings actually when you first apply it. So if you have sensitive skin, I wouldn't really recommend this because this might be too much for you. They do actually make a 5%, I believe, and I know there used to be like a 15%, but apparently that was too strong. But for me, I really like the 10%, and my skin's not really that sensitive. Like my skin does enjoy a bit of like chemicals. So this is not for those like, oh, I want like something natural and like vegan. This is like for those people that need are suffering from acne scarring, wrinkles and things like that. I've never seen such a difference in my acne scarring than from when I have used a product like this. And I think it makes sense with the whole range, because if you're going to be using something like this to help make your natural skin look so good, I feel like it helps you use less makeup later on, like base makeup. And I've noticed in the past few days that I haven't needed to put as much foundation or concealer. So if you're gonna get something from the range, and if you're suffering from acne scarring like me, wrinkles, or just like uneven skin texture and pores as well, this is something I definitely would get my hands on. And I've been using it for 3 weeks still, but I can't fucking see that. I don't feel like I even, still over half of the bottle, so you only need a little bit, but your skin is definitely gonna be peeling, and it's gonna be quite sensitive for the first 2 weeks or so, but it's gonna take about a month for your skin to stop peeling. But once you're over that month, like you can use it, like you can start out with like every other day, every 2 days, but for me I just did every day until about maybe a few days ago, where I only started using every other day, and now my skin has gotten a little bit more used to it. You can see it's a little red here. Your skin's gonna probably do that, and it's gonna be very peely, so do keep that in mind. But if you can get over that period of like your skin getting used to it, your skin is gonna look super like, I really recommend this. They also have the Centella Scar Ointment, and this is one of those Centella creams, basically. It's like a soft kind of gel texture. It's quite moisturizing, I guess, but I wouldn't use this as like a daily moisturizer. Hyung that I've been working with at Nakeup Face, oh my god, that was my life in like 0.5 seconds. He recommends using this after the cream because the cream, even though it's a cream, I wouldn't say it's like it's moisturizing, but I think of it more as like a treatment. I'm not gonna like use it as like my moisturizer as well. So using the scaling cream and then this on top at night. Oh, by the way, I use the scaling cream at night only. You also have to make sure you use your sunscreen like liberally during the day. But using that and then this at night, Hyun recommends using just that and this at night. And he says that's what he does and he's good. This is one of those products that are supposed to help your acne scarring, like the hyperpigmentation, things like that. So because I use these together, I can't really say anything about this alone. It's just like the other Centella creams that I've tried. So I think maybe using them together will really help aid in like the overall betterment of the skin. And here, it's not really a skin, you can kind of call it a skincare product, I guess. This is a Nakeup Face Glam Fixer, and this is a setting spray, but it's also, the ingredients here are very much like skincare, so you can use this prior to makeup, and you can use it after for maybe if you use a lot of powder products and you want to set everything down and like make everything look natural again, or if you need to refresh your skin, or if you want to apply before your foundation so that it glides on a little bit better. I mean, I'm not like gagging over it, but for me, the number one usage for this would just be to set, not necessarily set to make it last longer, because I don't really notice my makeup lasting longer. It's just to make it to like set powder makeup, like contour and highlight, so that it looks more in synergy with the skin. And actually, before I start all of my makeup, I'm gonna put on the Nakeup Face C-Cup Deep Volume Lip Tops, and I've talked about this before, I think in monthly favorites. This is a lip plumper, I guess, and I actually really like the applicator. It's kind of like a curved spatula, so it makes it super easy to just swipe it on your lips. The curved part will go on my bottom lip, and then this outer curved part I use on my top lip. But when I first started using it, I definitely noticed, because I've never used like lip plumpers before, so my lips felt like when you had, like if you eat spicy food and your lips get a little like, not swollen, but like they burn or tingle a little bit. It's kind of that feeling. This isn't super extreme because I've heard of other lip plumpers that they can be a little much. This isn't that much for me. And I wouldn't say my lips are like ginormous after I use it, but I do like to put this on if I forget to do put like a lip mask the night before. And I put this at the beginning of my makeup routine, and by the end, at least my lips are looking less wrinkly. So I'm gonna let that sit, but that's basically my lips prior to putting it on. So I just put it on, and we'll see how it looks on when I get to my lips. So now the star of the show, the base products. I think these are kind of Nakeup Face's flagship products. I'm gonna say it now. These cushions, along with this cream, are like my top picks for all of Nakeup Face. They've got two. This is the Waterking Cover Cushion, and they've got the Coverking Powder Cushion. Did you see me? I've reviewed the Waterking Cover Cushion before, and I was like blown away by this. This is like one of my maybe top 3 cushions. I'm always grabbing for this, along with actually this one. It just depends on like the mood I'm going for. Lately I've been more into this because this one is more targeted towards like dry skin, I suppose, and this is more for oily skin. But I have oily skin, but I really like this one just because it gives such a like beautiful glow. So I know like in Western makeup, people love putting on that highlighter using actual highlighter products, but I feel like with more Korean makeup, it's more about getting a glow that's more coming from your natural skin, or even just your base. So if you're into dewy foundations, I highly recommend this one. Not just because it's super, super dewy, because it's really, really dewy. I know in my eyebrow video from like a day or two ago, I actually had this on at that last clip at the end, and a lot of people are like, you need to use a little bit more powder. Personally, I like that look. It might look oily to some people, but of course you can, set the areas of your face to make it look less oily. But if you're looking for that extreme dewy look, this is where it's at. And not only that, the formulas on both of these are like the type of formula that I think all foundations should be, because it's super thin, but it's really full coverage. But you can also, of course, you can shear it out so you get less coverage. But I like that it almost creates like a film on the skin, so that it's very elastic and it moves with the skin. And what I've noticed is that it doesn't stick into my fine lines. On this side of my face, though, I do have slightly deeper fine lines. So I mean, it does stick like a tiny bit, but at the very end of the day, and it's like on this side, I don't even have any of it. On this side, it's just like the tiniest amount, and that goes with both of these formulas. And also, when you touch them up, it doesn't like cake on top of itself. It's like it's almost as if you had just applied it on during the beginning of the day, and it doesn't look like you're putting on more. It's just kind of like melding again within itself. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'm going to use, because I've shown this so many times already, I'm going to use this one, which is basically the same thing. And even though it's called the Coverking powder cushion, I wouldn't call it like matte. It's more of like a natural finish, I suppose. Because I do notice there's still a bit of like glow. I won't call it glow, but there's a bit of like a sheen to the skin. I'm gonna do one side so you can see the coverage, because the coverage of this is like, it's wild. So as you can see, I covered up nearly all of my problematic areas, and I feel like just this amount is good enough for me. Here's like before, and here's after. Both cushions come in 3 shades. This is number 23, Air Cover. And the blending is extremely effortless. And like, because there's some cushions where I feel like I have to keep like patting it in, because when you tap your skin, you can kind of see like mark of where the puff was. But with this one, I don't really see that, so it makes it really quick for application. So that, coupled with like the really high coverage, makes it a really good cushion for just, you know, you just want to slap this shit on and go. It also just makes a really fantastic everyday foundation because it hits so many of those check marks. Oh, and also it has SPF 50 PA++. And I believe it says that it's also like a primer, cushion, all that. So you don't have to worry about, like, if you're more of the type of person that just wants one thing for the face and they're not worried about like contour, highlight, powder, and all that, I think these 2 cushions are, you guys know how I feel about them. So video, I'm gonna quickly go over my brows. Actually, these brows are what I had from when I did that eyebrow video a few days ago. So I think I don't really need to touch up because I'm pretty happy with this. Now for me, this wouldn't be like my ideal brow because I still think I need to like fill it in a little bit, so that's what I'm gonna do. What I used was the 8 Days Tattoo Brow, and they've got 2 colors. They've got natural brown and light brown. And this is one of those tattoo pens that you apply it and it like stains your skin and tints your skin. So I definitely recommend using it after you had just cleansed your face. You have nothing on your face. You apply this first, give it like maybe 5 minutes or so, then you can do the rest of your skincare. Also, maybe even into the next day, avoid washing around your brow or washing your brows and putting anything there so that it really stains your skin here. And I noticed that for at least a week, even though because when you first apply, it's like quite dark actually. And it's not exactly, after you finally wash your brows, I guess, it's not exactly as dark, but what I noticed, my battery died. What I noticed when I first was testing this out was when I first put it on, right, I was like, oh my god, yeah, my brows are slayed, it's gonna be like this for 8 days. And then I washed it the next morning. I was like, wow, like a lot of it disappeared. It was basically like this. But what I definitely noticed doing my makeup for the next week was like, wow, I don't really need to spend much time on my brows. And there were even some days where I felt like I don't need to fill in my brows. So if you are into really doing your brows, but there are some days where you're like, wow, I don't even really feel like doing them, I think this is a really great product for it because you really only have to do it for 1 day. Maybe touch up throughout that week. I like to touch up with actually the lighter color. I noticed that I don't really have to do much to my brows until it really fades off after that 1 week, or it says 8 days, but I feel like it's really just 1 week. And it's great, especially for those people that, like me, that don't really need to like fill in too much, that just have a few bald spots. But then again, for those people that really need to fill in their brows, that have a lot of like sparse areas or areas where your brows are missing quite a bit, I probably would not recommend this to you. And of course, it's gonna make your job much easier because then you just really need to fill in like super bald spots. But for people like me that don't have to do too much, I think this would be a really great product to have, because now all I really have to do is just fill in those few bald spots and I'm pretty much ready to go. I'm ready to go. Do my lips look any more plump? Here it is after. Let's talk about their eyeshadows. I got like all their eyeshadows, and they have all their eyeshadows. I'm gonna say it now, their eyeshadows they're like really pretty, but I'm so used to like Anastasia eyeshadows that these are kind of like okay for me. These are like, they're really smooth and they're really pretty and blendable, but the thing is they're just not that pigmented. I'm not gonna completely throw these out of the park and think like, oh, I hate them, I don't really like them, because I actually do use them every now and then, but for days where I want more of like a natural shading to my eyes, because especially for those that feel like when you look at your face, and let's say like you do your brows and you do your base, but you feel like your eyes are kind of like just 2 dots in the middle of your face and there's not much definition going on, I feel like these would make a really good alternative to like those other shadows that are just sometimes just too pigmented, because I know there are some people that are kind of like beginners maybe, or they just feel like they don't need that much going on here. Their eyeshadows range from like soft matte, which by the way, the matte shades are so smooth and so like almost creamy in a way. I just wish they were slightly more pigmented, but for the colors that they are, I guess they're pretty. Just don't expect like really deep, sultry, dark colors from this line. They all work together, all kind of like browns, bronzes, caramels, you know, those really like warm, sugary, delicious colors. Here's like a quick glance at like all the shades. I'm going to make a really quick eye look. I'm going to use number 2 Back Hug to kind of set the foundation I put on my lids. I'm kind of using that as like my eyeshadow primer. But yeah, I really feel like these eyeshadows are better actually for like, especially like the more sparkly shades. I feel like they make better like 1 eyeshadow or 2 eyeshadow shades. Like if you want to look that just involves 1 or 2 eyeshadows, I feel like these would be good for that, because I feel like these just don't really work that well with brushes. With the finger swatches, as you saw, they're actually really, a lot of them are actually really pigmented and really like blinding, like the glittery shades. But as soon as you hit a brush to them, they're like not really there. And I've tried like brushes like this, more dense packing brushes that are synthetic, and no matter what, I just feel like fingers work the best. So if you're into like really pigmented shadows, avoid these. But if you have something like this shadow right here, you can just take your finger and kind of swipe it on your lids right where you want, and then just blend out the edge with a brush. And I think with that, that's where this eyeshadow excels. So I'm putting this color all over my lid and kind of on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take number 5, Sebyok Seshi. Add more definition at the outer corner. And as you can see, like from here onto my eye, I wouldn't call this like, oh my god, yes, look at that pigment, like, oh my god. You know those girls on Instagram, and they put one swipe of anything on their face and go. Number 15, Midnight. And then number 14, E-Cup. Don't know why it's saying that, but... Oh, and by the way, these all the individual eyeshadows have their own fucking mirror in them. So you know they ain't fucking around. So A+. Like in general, like the packaging for this brand, the packaging for Nakeup Face is really, really nice. Like they're really pretty products to look at. Only thing is though, that packaging like this gets fingerprints on it, so if that annoys you, you're probably gonna hate it. And you know what? I'm kind of glad that I'm doing this live right now, because another thing that I'm glad I remembered to mention is that about the whole thing about like 1 eyeshadow looks, because all these colors are kind of in the same family. If you try to use as many colors, like if you're looking at me now, you can see that they all kind of blended into each other. This kind of makes me think that you really don't need to use too many colors. Like even 4 colors for this look, like there was really no point, because they all end up looking like 1 eyeshadow. So 1 or 2, I think, is good enough for like just a simple look, simple definition around the eyes. Something like this, and then maybe something like this for a bit of sparkle, and then another one maybe for a little definition. But if you're one of those people that loves putting like 4, 5, 6 different colors, you got your contour, you got your crease color, you got your lid color, you got all these colors going on, I don't think it's that necessary. Okay, moving on to the eyeliners. They've got, how many is this? 7 eyeliners, and the packaging, as you can see, is really, really pretty and falls in line with some of the other packaging, like the eyeshadow and the cushion. But this is the Nakeup Face Self-Time eyeliner. And one thing that I really enjoy about this is, I don't know how they did it, but like, they probably didn't mean this, but the way it's constructed, the amount of weight on the handle part of the pencil makes it just really easy to control putting on eyeliner. I don't know why. And I thought it was just me, but I've noticed using other eyeliners that it's not the same. But besides that, they've got 7 colors. There's, of course, you got your black, you got your brown. They're not, like, I don't really feel these eyeliners. I'm, like, not really that big of a fan because, in general, I'm not really into pencil eyeliners, but because it doesn't, like, because I kind of have to go back and forth to get the pigment that I want. And with these, they're kind of just okay. I feel like they don't work that well on top of your eyeshadow. Like, if it's your bare skin, yeah, they're alright, I guess, but if you're trying to make a line on top of eyeshadow, it just doesn't come off. You have to, like, really keep rubbing. So with that being said, I'm not really a big fan of these eyeliners. And they kind of skip and drag the skin. Oh my god, that's really bad actually. Oh, and another kind of funny thing actually is they even have like a warning for this on their site. When you twist it, only twist it a little bit because you can't actually twist it back down. You actually have to physically push it down and that might ruin the product. So only twist out as much as you need. Don't go like, see like, oh, I wonder how much is in there, and then like twist everything out. It's like this big thing because you can't twist it back down. So I think you guys already know I would just skip on these eyeliners. I just had like the most difficult time putting that on. I had to keep going back and forth, and so even using this in the waterline, I can't imagine using it in the waterline like, because I would have to keep rubbing because the waterline is like a wet surface. I would have such a hard time getting that pigment on there. And also the black one isn't really that black. It's like it's not a gray, but it's just not like a very black. Another thing that they actually have for their eyes are these eye glosses, and they've got 4 of them, and they're kind of just those like liquid eyeshadows. They've got 4 colors. I do not really recommend these two, though this one I feel like it's way too sheer, and I think it might be pretty like if you put it on the back of your hand and kind of use your finger to apply it, like pat on the center, and you get a bit of like shimmeriness. But I feel like with it being suspended like that liquid, it will be too like watery and it might ruin your eyeshadow underneath. You might as well use like an eyeshadow that's like glittery and shimmery that you can use as like a top coat for your eyeshadow. So I would skip this. The gold one, I feel like it's too yellow. I feel like it's not really a flattering shade, so I would skip on this. But these 2 colors are really, really pretty. Number 3, Cashmere Pink, is kind of like a soft pink rose gold almost, more so pink. And number 4, which is like a really pretty shade, I really recommend this one. I've used this quite many times. This is number 4. It's like a brown that has almost like a sheen of like a caramely kind of gold, I suppose. It's not really gold on top, but it's just a really shiny kind of brown. And these eyeglasses are kind of those long wearing, like you put it on and you let it set, and it's kind of like a film that sets on across the eyelid, and like it doesn't really budge throughout the day. The only thing is though, I would recommend when you take it out of the tube, kind of wipe off the excess almost like nail polish, so you only get like the bit that's on like the actual hairs on this doe foot applicator, and swipe it like maybe once, and then use like a brush or your finger to blend out the edge. The applicator itself is a little bit big to get like super precise application, so I really recommend this as, again, like a kind of all over lid color, and then maybe use a different color, like deeper eyeshadows to add definition otherwise. And I guess it has like a cooling feeling on the eye. I don't think that's not really important to me, but there's that to mention. But yeah, again, I really like to use it when I want something on my eyes, but I don't want to put too much. Oh, and also it kind of gives you, like, at first when it's within the first few hours, it's really shiny, so it's almost like that glossy lid that I know a lot of people really like these days, that maybe like Milk Makeup is really into and all that. Throughout the day though, like when you wear it for quite a while, I do notice it like fades to more like almost matte, I guess, simply because you've had it on for so long. But so if you like that look of glossy lids, these kind of give that to you. Alright, and then last but not least, the lip products. There are 2 that I'm going to talk about. This is one that they've originally had for a while now. One Day Water Volume Lip Inks. And these are they remind me a lot of the Pony Effect favorite fluid lip tints, in that they're a tint, but they're a little bit more thick, so that, oh my god, girl, she's, is that on her fucking mouth? She got a dry comment around? Oh no, honey, it's not Friday today. So they're a kind of thick tint that you first put on your lips. You can put it just in the center if you want for like gradient, or you can put it all over for full lip application. But it's like almost like a cross between, like, again, like a tint with like a bit of a gloss, because what happens is you put it on and it kind of like not only of course stains your lips, but it kind of like creates, again, like a film on your lips that it's really comforting, super moisturizing. So if you're one of those people that likes tints but you find that they're a bit drying, this doesn't do that, because the aim for these is not sort of like a matte stain, but like a glossy kind of stain on the lips. I put it on in the morning. I don't really have to worry about fixing my lips throughout the day, because it's kind of just like that soft color that's left on my lips. Now when I say soft, I mean like the way it just looks on the lips. It's not like product that sits on top. All the colors are really pretty. They're all more on like the natural side. There are like reds in there, but it's, again, that's as like strong as it gets. The rest are kind of just like soft pinks, oranges, and things like that, which ties in again with the whole concept of like really pretty natural makeup. My favorite colors are No Makeup. Girl, when it has that name, I'm all about it. Which is actually the one I'm going to put on right now. No Makeup is kind of like, because there are some people like, oh my god, how do you get your lips such a pretty soft, like natural pink? My lips are a little bit dark. So this color gives your lips that kind of look of just a really pretty soft pink that's really natural. It's not going to give you that like, oh, they're wearing like a lip product kind of pink. So if you have lips that look kind of grayish, that make your whole face look grained and kind of dead, this is a really great color. And also, I always use this whenever I'm doing a guy's makeup, because if I want something on their lips, I always gravitate towards this, because it always just gives them the look of like really soft, fresh looking lips. Oh, can I also just say, because this is actually a mirror, sometimes when I just want to check out my makeup, I can just pull it out without having to open it. I just look at myself in this mirror. Like this. But as you can see, it's just like a really pretty natural pink. And I feel like this kind of pink makes my whole face look kind of like bright, like it livens up my complexion. And even though it's a tint, there's a bit of like thickness to it that helps keep the lips look a little bit more moisturized, and it kind of lays down like the dead skin on my lips. And I've noticed on people, I put it on guys that have lips that are quite dry and chapped like mine, and I noticed just putting this on, even without having to put this thing on or any lip balm, I noticed that it helps calm down like that chapped look of the lips. But this color in general is like a really great everyday color. My other favorite colors are Look at Me, which is like this kind of, but a little bit more like a stronger rosy pink. So if you want something, again, that's more natural, but still want maybe a little bit more of a punch, then that's a good color. And also Vampire. It's like that blood red kind of red that, overall, like full lip application looks so pretty. It's like a really beautiful like blue-based red that will suit like most skin tones, because it's more of like that blood red kind of color. And I love putting on when I'm feeling a little bit more sultry. I'll put it on like maybe this and then like right in the center, and I think that looks so pretty. I'm gonna wipe that off though, because I'm gonna show you the next lip product, which is actually new. They're actually releasing another new set of lipsticks, but this is their most recent one, and I think a lot of you are gonna be really into this. This is the Nakeup Face Velvet Scandal, I think it's called. Yeah, the Velvet Scandal, I don't know, like liquid lipsticks, I suppose. Very similar to the Moonshot, I forgot what they're called, you know, the lip paints that are all like natural looking, but they're like that soft velvet matte finish, or like the Peri Para, again, the Peri Para, you know, that velvet tint. This is basically like that, but these three, I'm glad that they only have 3 colors, because sometimes when there's too many colors, sometimes people can get overwhelmed. But anyway, I don't really have to introduce this product to you guys, because it's just, if you want something that will match whatever eyeshadow you're wearing, or you just want something on your lips that will help make your lips look pretty, because it has like technology in there that will smooth out your lips and make them look less wrinkly. And they're all really pretty like dry rose kinds of shades, which Coco has said is quite popular and that I've noticed a lot of brands are coming out with. This is number 3, Kiss Scandal. I know number 2 is always sold out. Like as soon as it came out, this was sold out. So if you're gonna get one, maybe number 2, because that's the most popular one. But honestly, any of them, they all look really good. And if you're not about the glossy lips, again, this is more of like that matte finish, so you're gonna get that matte, pillowy kind of look to the lips. So there's the final look. As you can see, it's a very like natural look. Like it doesn't look too crazy. And all the colors, they all work together to create like, again, like really natural looking makeup. It's definitely not a brand for like the super artistic, really creative. This is a brand aimed to those that just want simple, easy, pretty, natural, everyday makeup. Again, I'm gonna go through like my top picks. Definitely the cushions. This one, if you want a super dewy, like shiny, like honey, watery look, you know, all those words they love to use, like look to the skin, there's this one. This one, if you have more of an oily skin, but again, this is not gonna give you a super matte finish. It's still gonna give you a bit of like a natural sheen to the skin. And if you really need that coverage and I don't know, just the formula is really, really good. Definitely the AHA scaling cream if you think your skin can handle it and you have all those textural problems on your skin. Really definitely recommend this one. And the eyebrow tattoos that want to kind of just put their eyebrows on and kind of have them like either not have to do them for a week or just at least make them less of like a chore. Honestly, I really recommend number 2 for anybody because as soon as you wash it off, it does end up being like a very soft finish. Number 1, I really, because I feel like number 1 really is the color that number 2 turns into after a few days. So number 1 I really just use for touch-ups throughout the week. If I notice, like, oh, maybe I want to, if I'm bored and I like want to touch it up, then I'll use number 2. Use number 1, I'm sorry. But I definitely recommend number 2 for like the initial application. The eyeglosses in number 3 and 4, if you want that one eyeshadow look, but you need it to be long wearing. You don't need to use an eye primer with these. But again, note, I would only use a really thin layer and I wouldn't bother like putting loads of layers on because then it starts to get really thick and like gloopy. For the eyeshadows, there are the ones that I liked, but overall I don't think I would really recommend them. Only for those that want a really soft look on the eyes, that want just a tiny bit of definition, and don't want to bother too much with like extreme precision in blending and all that, because they all are super soft and creamy and blendable. It makes it easy, but the pigmentation is like eh. The water volume tints in No Makeup, Look at Me, and Vampire if you're into like that kind of color, but definitely No Makeup is a must-have, especially for everyday, and even for guys out there. Eyeliners, I would just skip that on my eyeliners. And if you're into soft, matte, velvety looking lips, definitely the Velvet Scandals, because these are really, really pretty. That was my review on Nakeup Face. I hope you guys found that useful, or you found it something you can just like sit there and play in the background. I know that they're going to be coming out with lipsticks as well, so I'll do a swatch video on those when I pick those up from Nakeup Face. But I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!